Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover. Red Recover now offers a simple-to-use, professional-grade light therapy device designed to help your dog heal and live a healthier life. Red Recover emits red and infrared light therapy based on the same science that NASA developed, all in a soft, flexible housing pad powered by a convenient, rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Say yes to science and give your dog the care it deserves with Red Recover.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's...
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Sports Talk 305 network is back. It's time to talk Miami Dolphins football with the greatest fan base in the world. EJDconstruction.com is fully insured, liability and workers' comp. Call Eric if you need a custom home builder or general contractor. 305-433-4843. This is the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Postgame Show on the Sports Talk 305 network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe. Here's your host, the Big O.
All righty, baby. That's what it's all about. It's all about winning. Listen, in the end, you look at the score, it says Dolphins 35, Bears 32. It's the NFL. You can lose any single week. You're on the road. Crap happens. Tua missed a couple of throws there. Defense got, trucked by Justin Fields all day long. Crap happens, man. But you got to find a way to win. And now that's what they've done. They're 6-3. To me, this is, it's an interesting, it's great. Twitter is a fantastic place, right? Because you get to see people's emotions on the spot. You probably see the worst of people a lot on Twitter, right? And a lot of them, they're anonymous, so they get to be a little bit more brash and they get to be a little bit more edgy and all that kind of stuff. And you also get to see how fickle, people are, because it's funny how some Dolphin fans, they enjoy watching Tyreek Hill make fools out of people, but then they don't enjoy when Justin Fields makes a fool out of you. And it's like, well, wait a minute, dude. Justin Fields is an athlete. Waddle's an athlete. Okay? Lamar Jackson is an athlete. Devontae Adams is an athlete. These are people, Travis Kelce, you name it. They're going to make you look stupid. That's what they do. And I love how Dolphin fans are getting frustrated about Justin Fields. And listen, man, sometimes you got to it's a mismatch. You can't prepare for this. No one can act like Lamar Jackson during the season. No one can act like Justin Fields. When you have that ability, the man only passed for 123 yards. Yes, Sean Stanley.
Just want to let you know, the Jets just beat the Bills.
The Jets beat the Bills. Thank you, Jets. That brings us a game closer to the Bills. So when they beat the Bills the next time that they play them, They will take over the division, take over the world, take over the conference, take over the Super Bowl. I mean, it's coming. You just got to relax, take it easy, chill out. The Jets just beat the Bills. That is just fantastic. I was just telling you that. The Chargers got past the Falcons 20-17. The Bengals beat the Panthers 42-21. The Patriots pounded the Colts 26-3. And the Jets beat the Bills 20-17. You don't know what's going to happen from week to week. And you and I know that the Dolphins only lost to the Jets because they had backup quarterbacks. Josh Allen went 18 of 34 for 205 yards and 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. He ran for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he couldn't beat him with the arm. Oh, by the way, Justin Fields, didn't get it done with the arm at the end either. Although, by the way, Keon Crossan, that's the other thing. It's funny because we've got fans already that have, Josh Boyer fired, and you're playing with cornerbacks 5, 6, and 7 out there. One is not even 100% an X. You saw him on that last play. He was burned. The guy dropped the ball, and they burned him for the touchdown and all that. I mean, they attack X nowadays. And he's not healthy. He's not himself. Number 2 has been out all year. Number 3, Nick Needham is done for the year. Number 4 is Trill Williams. People forget. So now you're at number 5, 6, and 7, and 8 corners that you're dealing with. You're going to have all kinds of pass issues, breakups, misunderstandings back there, mix-ups. Your strong safety is now your backup safety because Brandon Jones is gone, who helps you in the run game and pass rush and coverage. The kid does it all. I love how you people make it sound like Josh Boyer is going to overcome all that shit. And I go to my Twitter page. By the way, pull it up. Sean, do me a favor. Pull up my Twitter page and pull up the play that Justin Fields runs for 60-something, 70 yards on 3rd and 6. And, fire Josh Boyer. Dude, sometimes you're facing a nasty individual that you can't catch. And you can't catch Tyreek. Well, guess what? Justin Fields is like that. And you're killing Josh Boyer. And meanwhile, I'll show you pictures because I slowed it down and took shots of it. Several Dolphins have opportunities. It's not like the wrong play was called. It's just that it's hard to execute it against the guy that makes your play look stupid. Justin Fields. Give the kid credit. He's a hell of an athlete. But those of you that want to fire Boyer, I mean, he's not. That's why they had to trade for Chubb, because he doesn't have everything. So look, enlarge those pictures. You'll see. Right there. You've got, let me see if we can take the other one off there so you guys can see it. Here we go. All right, so there you go. So you've got one player here. Now go to the next picture. Right there, he's right there. Now you've got another one chasing him, one here and one here, Duke Riley, right? As he's breaking out of the pocket and past the line of scrimmage. Next picture. As he gets to the next level, here he is. He got past those guys. Here's another guy. They're all there. How the hell do you blame Josh Boyer? Thank you, Sean. You can't blame Josh Boyer. I mean, X is in charge of covering that guy at the end. That guy dropped the ball. Is that Josh Boyer's fault? That X is playing not at 100%? Is it Josh Boyer's fault that he has to play with Keon fouling Crossan? And he got away with stuff with Claypool at the end. But that's what you have when you have a 7th corner playing, and he's really not a starting corner. But you guys want to make chicken shit out of chicken salad. I mean, chicken salad out of chicken shit. And you can't do that, my man. You can't. I'm sorry. The corners don't just fall off trees. I know my man Omar Kelly likes to think that corners fall off trees, but they don't fall off trees. And there's a fall off from the guys that were starting to the guys you have now. And Eric Rowe is never going to replace Brandon Jones. Not even in his dreams can he do it. I told you guys Eric Rowe is inconsistent against receivers and running backs for the last week, that everybody was, oh, well, Eric Rowe should be active. No, he's not very good. He has his moments against tight ends, not against receivers and running backs. He struggles in those areas. He is no Brandon Jones. They have no Brandon Jones. You know what you have to be as a Dolphin fan? Be freaking grateful, man. They're 6-3. They're 6-0 when Tua starts and ends a game. That's all that matters, man. Okay? That's all that freaking matters, is that when he starts and ends a game, they are 6-0. They find a way to win. And to me, that's all that matters. And I don't know why there are Dolphin fans out there acting like you're supposed to have an undefeated team and you're supposed to be dominating and you're supposed to play perfect. And here are the Bills losing to the Jets. You know, you've got to be just an ungrateful Dolphins fan. You've had a shitty team for 20 years. Plus, you've had an inept front office for 20 years plus. You haven't had a franchise quarterback since Dan Marino. Any more idiots left? You got a franchise quarterback. Was the kid off on the Smythe thing, whether Smythe turned away from him or not, what Trent Green was saying, whatever. And then the deep ball, he put a little too much air. He wanted touch. He wanted to make sure he caught it because he wanted to seal the deal instead of him just letting it rip a little bit more and lead Waddle for the touchdown. You know what I'm saying? But I get what he was trying to do. It didn't work out for him. I'm sorry that he's not perfect for some of you out there. I mean, they had 9 drives. They scored 5 times. They missed a field goal that would have been 6 out of 9. So I'm sorry if he can score 6 out of 9 drives for you. You know, I'll take a quarterback that's going to do that all the time. You know, the defense got, you know, they were sizzled today by a guy that, you know, what are you going to do? Justin Fields is a hell of a talent. But you know what I'm loving? I'm loving 6-3, bitch. That's what I'm loving, mofo. I'm loving 6-3. I know this logo is 6-3 with a chance to go 7-3. So I'm not going to sit here and worry and bitch and complain about this, you know, the ups and downs of the NFL season. You're going to play close games. You're going to blow out. You're going to come back from deep deficits like 21 points on the road. But you won again on the road today, didn't you? Isn't that what it's all about? Hey, Justin Fields might be finding his groove. That's what this game might have been, because this is what he is. He's got to run a lot in order to be effective. He can't sit there in the pocket and beat you. But, you know, that's the thing. Maybe this was a coming of age type of thing for a guy like Justin Fields. That the coaching staff and himself are finding ways. But sometimes you got to give credit to other people. And especially that kid's talent is undeniable. It's freakish at that quarterback position. Lamar Jackson is the only other guy that's even more freakish. But give him credit. He can run like a deer, man. By the way, Jalen Phillips, God bless you, brother. God bless you. You had a hell of a game, and I don't care what the stats tell me. You were busting your ass chasing that guy down, and it was difficult. Jalen Phillips is a supreme athlete. A supreme athlete at the defensive end spot. Outside linebacker, whatever the hell you want to call him. Okay? And to drive that guy crazy is not easy. And Melvin Ingram got the big sack in the back end, the seasoned vet. You know, hey, they kept Tua clean, Tua looked good, Tua had a hell of a game. Whatever, a couple passes that didn't go well. I'm not going to be freaking out on a couple of passes that didn't do well. I'm going to freak out that they're 6-3 and they're 6-0 when Tua starts and ends games. And they will try to go and move on to 7-0 next week. So, to me, that's what matters in the end. Nothing else matters. You see it there. You want to be the Bills? I mean, the big bad Bills, right? Oh, wow. Some guy goes to me, well, playing defense like that, they're not going to be able to beat great teams. And I go, yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe they can't. They're going to struggle against the Bills. Oops, I forgot. They already beat the Bills. No one in this league is unstoppable. How do you like them apples? Not Kansas City, not Buffalo, no one in the NFC. I don't care who you are. You can be beaten. And the Dolphins have proven that down 21 against Baltimore on the road, they can win. They've proven that they can beat the Bills. They've proven that they can go out and win games no matter what. And it's not about style points. At the end of the season, nobody looks back and says, oh, I got a lucky bounce here or a lucky bounce there. Okay? All we say is, who's got the championship? Who's holding the trophy? Who's got the banner? That's what I want to know. And if the Dolphins have it, that's all that freaking matters. So as a Dolphins fan, if you have the gall to complain about a win, it's actually pathetic, quite frankly. You haven't had a team like this since the Marino days. Before, I'm talking Marino Shula, by the way. Okay, because Jimmy Johnson, in whatever dreams he wants, he didn't know jack shit about offense in the Marino days. He destroyed the offense around Marino. He was a cancer to the offense. I'm talking Shula. You haven't had a franchise quarterback like this that can just light stuff up. You got it now. Hey, clock management, a little questionable. Let's get into that. You look at Mike McDaniel, young coach, ballsy, gutsy, little loose with the time clock. First half, down the stretch here. I didn't like that they used their timeouts early in the fourth quarter, stuff like that. I know when Tua had to take one of the timeouts, obviously he must have not liked what he saw. And they were low on the clock on another one. So I get all of that. And this is going to happen. But again, this is where I gear it to the lazy Dolphin fan that's out there. Nobody told you that this was a finished product. Nobody told you they were supposed to go undefeated. Most of you didn't even believe in the quarterback in the first place. Okay, because I see there's 1,300 of you. Come on, be honest. Very few of you had the conviction I had the last couple of years that I kept telling the entire world you're all effing wrong about Tua. Okay, so I don't know. Most of you just realize now that you got a hell of a quarterback. Just in these last couple of months here, you've realized it. So I'm not sure where we have gone from first gear to fifth gear without going through the rest of it. And that's the problem here. And Mike McDaniel is not perfect. I know it. I get it. Is the offense perfect yet? No, but it's pretty damn good. The defense, it's got its issues. We just talked about a lot of their problems, especially in the secondary. And that's going to be tough. And so now it's up to Boyer and company to kind of figure things out. But there are certain monsters that will create problems for you, and they create problems for everybody. And guys like Lamar Jackson, guys like Justin Fields, guys like Josh Allen, these are mobile quarterbacks that give most teams problems. So this is normal to struggle with these running like quarterbacks because you cannot actually imitate that, in practice throughout the week. I get it. Nothing's perfect right now. But you know what is? Tua, when he starts and finishes 6-0, bitch. That's what counts. And I don't care what anybody tells me. Those 3 games, if Tua's in that game, in those 3 games, this team is 9-0 or worst case scenario 8-1. Because in the end, all I see is a team down by 21 finds a way to win. A team against the Buffalo Bills finds a way to win. A team against the Chicago Bears finds a way to win. They get in an ugly first half against Detroit. They adjust in the second half, shut down Detroit, and they close it out and find a way to win. That's what I don't know what you're watching, but I know what I'm watching. I'm watching a team that wins. And I'm not sitting here like what's that America's Got Talent or whatever the hell, Simon Cowell or whatever. And I'm here to give you a 7.8 on the win or an 8.0 or that was a 10. It's a win. That's all that counts. It's the NFL. Ask the Buffalo Bills. Ask them. See how they're feeling right now that they lost. They should have beaten the Jets. Oh, my God. Tua loses to the Jets and has the game. If Tua loses to the Jets and goes 18 of 34, 205, and 2 interceptions, what do you think happens? Yeah, I thought so. But, of course, the double standard exists there, and it's a whole different ballgame. But all I know is, didn't Tua beat Josh Allen? At the end of the game, wasn't Josh Allen getting consoled by Tua? Tua's like telling him, yeah, no problem, Josh, you're all right. Problem is you're my bitch from here on out. That's all. I'm looking at the standings, and it has the Bills at 6-2, Jets and Dolphins at 6-3. That's it. They're right there, man. Through the Tua injury stuff and everything, they're right back in the mix to take the lead in the division. They just got to go out and take care of business. It's a beautiful thing. But there's so much panic with some of you out there. You got a shot next week against Cleveland. And remember our friend Jabroni Brisket. You should be able to win that game at Hard Rock Stadium, by the way. Then you get your bye week. And then you come back and you host the Houston Texans. You can win that game too. So now you're sitting there at 8-3. Now you go to San Francisco. The draft pick doesn't matter anymore now. Doesn't affect us, doesn't affect them. Who cares? Now you can go out and kick their ass too. Hopefully win that game with McDaniel and Shanahan as the battle. That'll be fun. Then the following week you stay out there and you beat the pants out of Justin Herbert and the Chargers. And then we got the big boy game against the Bills. That Green Bay game doesn't look that scary anymore. You got a chance to win a lot of games. You got a chance to set yourself up for the playoffs. Do you realize they've already got 6 wins in their first 9? In any season in the last 20 years, if I tell you you're 6-3 after 9, we are killing ourselves as Dolphin fans for now. And we're going to have people complaining? Come on. You know, sometimes it gets to a point of just being just flat out ridiculous. That's all. That's kind of the way I look at it. That's what it gets to. It's like you're not appreciative of what's going on with the team, of how much they've accomplished in an incredibly short time. You could be stuck with Brian Flores and no offense. And by the way, Brian Flores burying your franchise quarterback. How about that? You had a guy that was ready to sabotage. And by the way, typical of the Dolphin life. Typical. The guy would have left Miami and go and ball somewhere else. Some offensive coordinator, a pretty good one, would have gotten him. And then all of a sudden, Tua becomes like one of the leading passers in the NFL. We're going, well, wait a minute. Didn't we have that guy here? Didn't Brian Flores say that he couldn't play? Hell, Brian Flores thought that Jabroni Brissett was actually better. Didn't we have that guy? Think about where you were. You were with Cam Cameron. You were with Adam Gase. I mean, you were with Brian Flores and Fitzpatrick and Pat White and John Beck. You know, I could just go on and on and on. And Jay Cutler and and the aforementioned Trent Green, by the way, that was on the broadcast today. You could have all of that. And look where you're at now at 6-3, and you're going to be complaining about 6-3. You were what, 1-7 to start the season last year? Chase Barrett, thank you, sir. Tua almost pulled a Herbert. There we go. That's it. Except the only problem is Herbert's only Herbert. Tua's never been Herbert. That's the difference. But thanks for the silly chat. Kevin Beal, now let's hear Chubb slander. It was his first game, folks. Relax. Side note, our center is elite. Also, X with the play of the game at the end. Well, I don't know. That guy might have dropped the ball. It was an X. Frankie Fresco, thank you for the love on the super chat. Defense stepped it up when we needed them. Yes, they actually made some plays at the end, and then the referee also made a couple plays at the end, too. So that was good, too. He swallowed that thing with crossing. So, you know. EJ Barro, thank you for the love on the super chat. OKO. I'm taking down my Boyer face dartboard. There you go. Yeah, it's a little harsh to go after Boyer. Jose Banos, you're right, Big O. Thank you for bringing me off the ledge on Boyer. You're the best, my brother. It just, there's too much overreaction in just a short time. John C., I'm not blaming Boyer, but I do think we took too long to get a wide 9 or wide defensive end set. Looks like they started to do that late in the game. We won. Great job, Miami. It's a pain in the ass, John C. Thank you, my love. Thank you, my man, for the love in the super chat. Appreciate you. Lesky, thank you. We're complaining about 6-3. Last year we were 1-7. We never had it this good in the past 20 years. What the F? Enjoy the W. Thank you, bro. God, see, dude, you're the kind of people that keep me going right there, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Common sense, man. EM Baller. We win. Fire Boyer. We got lucky. There we go. Thank you, EM Baller. Appreciate it. True Fin fan, 6-3, 1 game out. Allen hurt his arm. Feels good. I mean, you know, what can we tell you? I'm not going to sit here and whine and complain about 6-3. We just, Sean and myself, we just reserved an entire house in Phoenix, Arizona for the week of the Super Bowl. Okay? And I'll be taking care of the Las Vegas also stuff just in case for any Pro Bowl stuff, even though they'll be in the Super Bowl, but maybe we'll cover the Pro Bowl East-West Shrine and then drive right over to the Super Bowl. But if the Dolphins are there, this show is going to be there, and we're going to cover the practices. We're going to do everything that we normally do for Super Bowl week, and we'll have all that coverage for you. You know what I'm saying? You guys, you want to wallow in negativity? You can do that. This is not the show for it. We'll call it like we see it. I'll tell you, Tua put too much air on that throw to Waddle. I'll tell you, whatever. There was a miscommunication. I'll tell you, man. I'll admit when shit is going on. But I'm not going to allow you, oh, no, Boyer's terrible. Well, wait a minute. He's playing with corners 5, 6, 7, and 8. Give me a break. A backup strong safety. What do you want him to do? You know, you're playing against a freak and Justin Fields. The defense is there. They're trying to make plays, but he's making them look stupid like Tyreek does to other people. It's interesting how we can't look stupid. Only they can look stupid. We're above it. We're the Dolphins. We're the only ones that can have elite athletes. No one else can. No, Chicago Bears, you're not allowed to have an elite athlete. No. You can't have one of those. No. Tennessee, nope. Take Derrick Henry away. That's it. You know what I need now? I need to go to Clash of the Titans, and then Zeus is hanging out with all the gods and says, no, Perseus must have success with the Dolphins. We must take Derrick Henry and put him on the Isle of Kalesis, so he's lost and never finds it. And let's take out Lamar Jackson and put him on Planet Zoom, and then we'll get Josh Allen and we'll put him on Mars. Perseus must succeed. If you haven't seen Clash of the Titans, you may not get that reference. EJ Barro, thank you, sir. He says, you're my Phinz football, Mr. Miyagi. Oh, thank you, sir. Greg Sachi, thank you, my man, on to Cleveland. That's right, baby. That's right. The Bears dropped the Brown today. We move on to crush the Browns. There we go. Thank you, Greg. Edward Thurston is Hal your third name? Getting Chubb in a trade didn't help out today, but the defense will get better. Again, they're 6-3. Perfection is not demanded. The W is. Phil Montgomery, thank you, sir, for the love in the super chat. Let's forget about the D and instead enjoy the high power offense. It's been so long since we have enjoyed legitimate good offense. Tua for MVP. Now, Phil, thank you for this because you gave me a lead in to something I wanted to talk about. And that is, for 25 years, even the Marino end with Jimmy, you were a team that counted on your defense to bail out your poor scoring offense. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what kind of an NFL is it today? Those of you that aren't old enough, this isn't the 90s. They're not running and 3 yards on a cloud of dust, and this isn't the 50s, and no. This is kind of what happened when the AFL came into existence. That the NFL would throw the ball, but running was still kind of the core. And then here came the AFL, and they opened the doors for the black athlete, because back in the 50s in the NFL, they would only have 2 or 4 black athletes in each team. So the AFL was like, we want athletes. We didn't care where they came from. Boom. They got all the athletes from all over, from a lot of the black colleges. And guess what ended up happening? They opened up the offenses, and they started throwing the ball a lot more. And then we ended up getting the Sid Gilmans and the Hank Strams lighting it up. Well, guess what? That's what this football has become in the last decade. It's kind of like the AFL resurgence. It's the resurgence of offense. The rules are geared to the offense, not to the defense. It's harder to play defense now than it ever has been. You got to hit them in the right spot. If you don't hit them in the right spot and it's too low, too high, you're done. Here's the penalty there. It's impossible to play defense. But that's because they want points, baby. Okay, remember the era of steroids, and they wound the ball tight, and they shot themselves up, and they were hitting home runs, and chicks dig the long ball and all that good stuff. Well, guess what? We dig offense. America wants points. Now, we want to enlarge the goal in soccer. We want more goals. We don't like that stuff that goals are precious. That's why we don't fall in love automatically with soccer. So it's going to take generations of young people growing up with it, and then you'll see it growing like it is now. But we love offense. That's what we are as Americans. We love offense. We love entertainment, pizzazz. And what do the Dolphins have now? They have that explosiveness. They have the weapons. They have the technology. They've made the offense stronger, faster than ever. Da, 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 da. So that's what they've done. They've pieced it all together. And instead of Steve Austin, we have Mike McDaniel on the sidelines, and he's calling it. All right? And eventually it's going to cost Ross probably $6 billion in order to keep running this offense. So we'll call it the $6 billion offense. Dun, 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 dun. This is now a team that the offense bails out the defense. It is no longer Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, Sam Madison. Save us. How'd that work out? Didn't work out because you just didn't have enough points. So if you don't have enough points and you want your defense to limit the offense to 15 or 17 or 18 points in the age of offense, you're an idiot. You got to score points. And for decades now, the Dolphins can't score points. So now the imbalance is the other way. The pendulum has swung the other way. They are now an offensive team, not a defensive team. The defense is there to complement, make a couple plays finally, like they did towards the end. Ingram get that sack and end the game. But your offense is what's going to power you. Your offense is what's going to save your ass when you're 21 down. Your offense is the one that nails 4th and 7. Comprende, compadre? Whether you like it or not, your Dolphin franchise that you've been watching, the philosophy has completely changed. Those are the facts, ladies and gentlemen. And live with it. And guess what? We caught up. Thank the Lord we caught up. We were so behind. Well, you watch the University of Miami. For years, they didn't pay coaches. They didn't have the top facilities. So they lost out on a lot of stuff. Now they're starting to spend the money. So now they got to climb back on that wheel and get into the motion with the top teams. It's going to take them a couple years, but hopefully they can do it. Same thing here, man. You just got this wheel going. Give it a little time, but you're 6-3 in the process with your quarterback missing 3 games. Imagine the gall of complaining about a team that is 6-3, already beat the so-called best team in the AFC, not just division, AFC. Your starting quarterback is 6-0 every time he plays. I'm just wondering. You're complaining about a team that is 6-3, and they're only 6-3 because the quarterback was out for 3 games. Just saying. It's kind of ridiculous. Sean, what's the next super chat, please? And by the way, you can make a donation through Cash App and Venmo. We love the super chats. We're blessed to have your super chats, but if you make it through Cash App or Venmo, we get 100% of the donation. Here we get 70 because YouTube takes 30. So if you want Cash Big O Show, that's Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. Okay. Let's see. McDaniel needs to take community college class on game time management. Win is a win, but I'd like to enjoy one for once. I'm sorry. So you don't enjoy winning. You can only enjoy it if it's a rout. Pat, the Jets just beat the Bills, bro. I can't imagine what it's like if they lost. I really can't. It's crazy to me. By the way, Eric at EJD Construction, a proud sponsor. And, of course, this is the EJDconstruction.com post-game report. And make sure you reach out to one of the great sponsors of this platform for the last 5 years, as I've done several changes. 305-433-4843. He was in Chicago with his son at the game. How cool is that? Watching Tua light it up over in Chicago. Send me a bunch of pictures. That was actually cool. Big Dolphin fan, big support of the platform. For those of you looking to redo your roof or bring it up to code so you can get your insurance done. And here in the state of Florida, a lot of people need hurricane insurance. Obviously, we're still in hurricane season, and you want to bring yours up to the code so you can renew your insurance, because once your roof is over 20 years old, a lot of people are having issues with that. Please reach out to EJD Construction, full contractor. They do it all and anything from your roof to you name it. You want to build a second floor, extra room. You need to gut your entire kitchen and modernize it. Whatever it is you want to do, 305-433-4843, and they are fully insured. Fully insured, so you can peace of mind when they're working there. EJDconstruction.com. Tell them that Big O sent you. All right, what's next there, Sean? See if I can catch up to these super chats. You guys are sending them in by hundreds here. Thank you, by the way. We're blessed. McDaniel needs to trust his kicker. No. I know that Sanders puked on that field goal. However, if McDaniel allowed him to get the other field goal attempts, this game would have been done with. I get what you're saying. You're right about that, but the days of trusting Jason Sanders are done. Now Jason Sanders has to earn the trust back. Manny J. Snow. Now this guy's aggressive. This guy's going to go for it. And if your kicker's shaky, he Tua kicker. What I didn't like, Manny J. Snow, is at the end of the game the two running plays. Why? First and second, dude, Tua. I'm living and dying with Tua. A couple weeks ago, the whole field goal thing, I would have gone with it with Tua, not the running play. I'm not exactly sure until you show me a dominant running game, I can't tell you that I can count on that in key moments. Thank you, Manny. Appreciate you. Kevin Meadows, the Phinz wouldn't be where they are without Tua, period. He's proven the doubters, haters wrong, and they can't handle it. Those people are literally grabbing at straws now. I know. It really is. It's embarrassing. You could tell the Tua haters because they'll come out. Well, no, he overthrew that one. Oh, yeah, he missed out. He makes a couple mistakes and they're all over his ass. My man, Steve M. Love him. Completely out of his mind. Oh, Tua can't put him away. I'm like, you want Tua to tackle Justin Fields too? You want Tua to make the field goal for Jason Sanders? I'm wondering, like, put him away. You want him to do everything? I'm like, did you watch the Marino era? Didn't I tell you last week? This is how Marino was all the time. He had to be absolutely perfect, dude, because everything else around him wasn't as dependable. It's funny how they look different, but there's a lot of the same kind of scenarios going on right now. EJ Barro, again, thank you, sir. Unless JK eludes like Fields. Yeah. Fields, man, that's scary. But I doubt that that will happen, by the way. Leon Fresco, Fields played great. No D stops him today. Big win. Exactly, Leon. Great athlete. You got to give him some love, man. Brett, the movie guy, thank you, sir. You forgot Brian Greasy or Cleo Lemon. There you go. Those are real winners right there. Thank you, my brother. T-Bull 9989. Hats off to Justin Fields. The man is fast, kind of soured on the no call for the sake of the game, but a win is a win. Hey, man, you get the breaks, and sometimes you don't get the. Our Dolphins did not get a lot of breaks. They screwed us with Teddy Bridgewater in that Jets game. Phantom-ass call. Disgusting. You and I know that. Sean Murray, Big O, I'll take the win no matter how it gets done. How about the fix of the penalties from last week? Yeah. In fact, let me see. The penalties were, it was a pretty clean game for a while in that one. That's one of the things that kind of stood out in that game, that it was very clean. And you're right. I'm going to pull up the stats here from this game. And in penalties, Miami 3 for 38. So you are correct, sir. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you. Next up, Chase Barrett. We got a top 3 quarterback. Sky's the limit once D improves. Exactly. I am with you, Chase. Wink, the comic grandma, with everyone singing to his praise now in the media, I feel animosity and spite towards them for wanting to all of a sudden jump on the bandwagon. Where was their support this whole time? How do you view this media bandwagon? Listen, you know what I view it as? A lot of people don't understand the quarterback position. And that's going to sound incredibly arrogant on my part. And too bad. Sorry, because I'm the one that told you he's a lefty Montana. You know, the lazy people will tell you Steve Young because he's lefty, but Steve Young was a superb athlete. Steve Young was like a fullback, running back, playing in a quarterback position. You know, he was a passer and all, but dude, he thought like a running back. He was a bulldog. People, they need to go back and watch Steve Young's early days and stuff. Steve Young is a badass, dude. Completely different than Tua. He's Joe Montana. And listen, man, I've told this story a couple times. Adam Beasley, who's a complete Tua denier, believer, whatever, not hater, because hater's a stupid word, but he clearly thought that Tua was not the quarterback at this level, right? And I told him to his face, and I said it in the middle of that Dolphin media room. And I said it loud enough because I'm Cuban, because my voice carries. And I said, hey, man, I've seen this quarterback before. This is Fran Tarkenton. This is Bob Greasy. This is Joe Montana. This is Drew Brees. He's one of those kind of guys. I get it. They don't grow on trees. They don't show up 15 of them every 10 years. I get it, dude. There's only a few of them. But those few that have a feel for the game, that have accuracy and ball placement and anticipatory skills, you can't teach that shit. Because those guys became that from the day that they were young, because they were always smaller. So they had to figure things out, learn passing lanes, learn anticipatory skills. And they did. And they laughed at me. Basically, I could feel it. I could sense it like, oh, this guy's out of his mind. He just put him in the same sentence with Bob Greasy, Drew Brees, and Joe Montana. And I said, yeah, I did. So for me, it's really about that a lot of people don't understand the quarterback position. And the lazy thing to do is say, well, he's 6'5". He can run 4.5. He can throw it for 90 yards. Automatically, he must be a great quarterback. Yeah, sure. Ask Achilles Smith that. Why don't you? Why don't you ask Vince Young that? I'm sorry, I must have missed it. Just because you're a big athlete and you can run around, you're going to become a great quarterback? That's not true. Jeff George had a godlike arm, didn't have the heart to play the game. Phillip Rivers put up a lot of stats. When you needed him, he shit his pants. But he put a lot of stats up. God bless him, boy. He was a great fantasy player. So that's your answer, Wink, the comic grandma. A lot of people don't understand the quarterback position. And they're lazy. And so they just settle for the freak athlete. And the freak athlete like Jamarcus Russell has failed many times over. The freak athlete like Ryan Leaf has failed many times over. The freak athlete like Tim Couch has failed many times over. But if you want to keep telling me that every time you see a big quarterback that's got a big arm, that automatically makes him a great quarterback, then go ahead and draft Mike Glennon all you want. I can play this game all day long for you. I've watched all these guys since I was a kid. I follow this sport like it's, like it's second nature to me. And there are those guys that have a feel for it. And let me tell you, there's been other guys like these guys. The only problem was the good Lord did not give Teddy Bridgewater enough God-given ability. If not, he would be those guys. Ken Dorsey didn't give him enough ability. Ty Detmer didn't give him enough ability. There's a couple of those guys that are really smart QBs and were actual good passers, but they just fell short. Steve Walsh, they just fell short on the talent department. They needed just another notch above, and they would have become those kind of guys. But people don't understand that shit. So then they just go and just base it all on talent. He's got it. Oh, and he doesn't, he's not, but Dude, go put Joe Montana next to Marino and Elway, and there was no effing comparison. None. Marino had an arm and a radar that very few I've ever seen in my life. Elway was a freak at that time that could run and throw like holy crap. Who the hell is this guy? And Joe Montana did not have their body size, did not have their arms, did not have did not have Elway's athleticism, but he was the best quarterback out of the three because he had a feel for the game. And please don't tell me Ryson Taylor, because he won his first championship with Freddie Solomon and Greg Cooper as his running back, and he had the tight end, the Hall of Famer, Dwight Clark. He did have a Hall of Fame tight end, but his receivers weren't anything special, and his and his running back was Greg Cooper. Solid football players by Freddie Solomon, former Dolphin. But, I think Duriel Harris is he one of the receivers there, or was there somebody, I forgot who it was, who was the other guy. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is his greatness was his greatness. You can't deny that kind of stuff. And that's what Tua is. So laugh at me all you want. Next up, Eric Echevarria. Let's get Vic Fangio out of retirement live from Cuba. I love it, but I'm fine with Boyer, bro. Thank you. Robert Jason, thank you for the love on the super chat, sir. I got to get to the Cash App and Venmo, Cash Big O Show, because I know some Cash Apps and Venmo have come in. John Guebe, if Tua continues on this trajectory, is there any circumstances he is an MVP? He should be in the MVP conversations very soon. Hells to the dude. He's the guy pulling the trigger on all of this. But it'll take a couple more weeks of him. That stretch coming up with the Bills that we talked about and all that. The Bills, and what was the other game that we talked about that was coming up? The Chargers and what else? Yeah, San Fran, Chargers, and Bills, and Green Bay. That's where Tua earns MVP honors right there. Right now, right now the media is in shell shock. Wow, I got that shit wrong. All right, next up is Eric Echevarria. I'm loving the honey and thyme and lime. Oh yeah, bro. I'm loving it too. Keeps the throat going. Muzi, no sacks today, right? Pass protection looks stronger every week. Yeah. Austin Jackson cannot get his job back. I'm sorry. He lost his job. He's the swing tackle backup left guard now. Let's move on. JR, thank you for the love in the super chat, my friend. Uber Beaner, Big O, looks like Tua's getting himself back into MVP conversation. Hails to the yeah. Hails to the yeah. True Fin fan. Tua 302, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. QBR 135.7, no interceptions in his last 3 games. What the F more do you want, people, from this guy? Cojones. That's right. That's right. Preston Sampson, Big O, you are spot on about reliving the Marino years with this team. Boyer is Oliver. We can't stop anybody. Tua's balling. Again, go back and rewind. I showed Boyer's calling the right plays. Guys could. It's just Justin Fields was that much better today. Manny J. Snow, Fields was impressive, and I also like his head coach. The kid showed balls and his great ability. Bears fans should feel good about the future. Played good, man. Played good. I root for that kid, except for today. God, I wanted him. I wanted to stop him. Not hurt him, stop him. Go ahead. Next up. That's it? All right. We are caught up. I love it. Okay. So now I can get to the people, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. Let's see what we got here. Ray Martinez, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. You didn't put anything, but thank you for the Cash App. Very nice of you. Samuel, thank you also for the Bitcoin. For the donation. Holy crap. Tony Zagales, Ernesto Don, Ray Martinez. Thank you, man, for the love on the Bitcoin. That is fantastic. Ray Martinez. Wow. Ernesto, Amazing. You know, I love me some Bitcoin, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Tony Segalis. Very nice of you, man. Very nice. Very nice. That warms my heart. That's my favorite right there, man. That is my favorite. Thank you all out there so much. That is very nice of you. Very nice. That is awesome. It's fantastic. Okay. Wow. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Let me see. Did you put anything? I want to make sure you guys didn't put a message there because I want to make sure I read the messages that you guys put. Okay, Samuel, thank you, sir. Thank you. And there we go. Thank you all out there. All right, let me go on Venmo. I'm sure Steve M has some hate. Let's see, Steve M. Does Marino underthrow the ball to Waddle? Maybe. It could happen to anybody, Steve M. I mean, you know, to complain about a guy that is 21 of 30 for 302 yards and 3 touchdowns, Steve M., do you know how ridiculous that is? The guy did his job. He did his job. I mean, I get it. He's not perfect. He's going to make a couple mistakes, you know, but it's all right. Steve M, clearly a Tua hater, disbeliever. He's a hater because he wants Tua also to play defense. So, you know, Steve M's a little extreme there on the Venmo. Oh man, Steve M, you are a trip, brother. I really don't understand it, to be quite honest, Steve. You know, that part I really don't understand the dislike or the hate or the disbelief with Tua. I really don't get it. It's kind of odd, to be quite honest. Let's see right here. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure I'm making sure again on the Cash App because I didn't see none of you sent messages. So thank you for the donations. I want to make sure because if you send a question, I want to make sure I answer. Even Steve, who has all the hate in the world for Tua, I got to make sure that we get to that. All right. Remember, also, we have a winner, by the way, for the tickets for the Heat and the Portland Trail Blazers. And where are we here? Damn it. Did I lose? Here it is. There we go. Jose Castillo. Jose Castillo, you'll be contacted on your Instagram account. You, sir, are the winner of the tickets for the Heat and the Portland Trail Blazers. And follow red.recover on Instagram. We will be giving away more tickets. So make sure you follow us on Instagram at Big O Radio Show and at red.recover as we will be giving away more tickets and more prizes. Follow us on Twitter at Big O Show. And then Instagram, it's Big O Radio Show. Like everything is really Big O Radio Show. Everything. You always got to put in the radio. Twitter's the only one because I've had it for so long. I got it at Big O Show years ago, and so I was very lucky with that. But yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. And thank you for the wow. I didn't expect that much Bitcoin coming in from you guys. That is amazing, man. I love how we're modernizing the show and moving forward in a crypto fashion. I like it. I like how people now can easily send Bitcoin, through Cash App. That is just absolutely awesome. That is so freaking cool. So thank you all out there, because as you know, that's my thing as a crypto guy. I'm a big believer that that's where our future is going. Listen, we talk about this game, and I told you, you just got to be appreciative of overall what has happened and how much you've overcome this season. And if you can actually start to get some breaks and start to get some of the pieces back, I think it would be absolutely phenomenal, because now you're going to take this to another level. And I think that as this defense gets to play a little bit more, and hopefully some of the secondary can settle in, maybe Greer and company can unearth something else, from the from free agency somehow. We'll see. Alan Poupart, by the way, on the final third down play by Chicago, the underthrow to Waddle, you're going to compare to Crossan pulling Claypool by the waist from behind. Come on, man, okay? I give up. It was just a routine missed call in the game, or missed calls. Is that better? Alan Poupart getting mad on Twitter. Oh, that is just absolutely awesome. By the way, in the last 38 games played, a decent sample size, the Dolphins ranked third in the AFC and tied for sixth in the NFL in victories among the 32 teams in the last 38 games. And now they actually have an offense. That's Joe Shad, by the way, with that nugget. I like it. They were bad on fourth down today, too. And McDaniel said that the team's fourth down attempt, Tua's incompletion of Smythe, was more about the wind on a field goal attempt. How about that? Oh, the wind was swirling in Chicago. I don't know. Maybe we have some listeners that were there at the game. But I know that some of the listeners had trouble landing and everything in Chicago, that the wind was pretty brutal like it normally is. McDaniel, by the way, said he was happy with both Bradley Chubb and Jeff Wilson today, both of whom played more than 50% of the snaps on their respective sides of the ball. All right. And Oyefusi says, I asked McDaniel whether the last two games, Dolphins scoring a lot, defense giving up a lot, is sustainable. McDaniel said he doesn't see it that way and was pleased with the team's resolve. Later, he says it will never be sustainable for one side of the ball to dominate. And what did I tell you guys? That's what used to happen, the defense. Dolphins used to just count on the defense all the time. Defense has got to bail you out. Now, defense is going to have to make some plays. Offense is probably going to have to carry them, but it can't be. Listen, in the Detroit game last week, they adjusted and shut down Detroit in the second half. They did nothing. Bills too, right? Didn't they shut them down towards the end also? Weren't they limiting them, I think? Oh, and definitely the Ravens. They definitely shut them down in the second half after they took the lead. The real 0305 says Tua will give Marino his first ring. Will that put him ahead of Marino? It's blasphemy to say this. If Tua goes on to have a career with a title, what do you think? What do you think? It's only natural, man. Does Marcel have the invite there, Sean? All right, we are waiting Marcel Louis-Jacques. But if you win the title, people hate it when you say about Wade, but dude, Wade produced 3 titles. He's the top dog in town. You want to argue, you can go ahead and argue, but it's a hollow argument. I love Marino, bro. My favorite Dolphin of all time. But you got to give Wade his props. And if Tua has a great career here with the Miami Dolphins and wins a title, he will surpass Dan. It's just the way it is. Real, thank you. Eric Echevarria, did you deny Steve's admission on the Tua bandwagon? What Steve? Oh, Steve M? Oh, Steve M has no shot on being the Tua bandwagon. No. Steve M can be used as a speed bump to kind of slow down the Tua bandwagon, but No, he's not allowed. We're going to use Omar, Steve M, Joe Shad. By the way, Joe Shad then realized he was on that list the other day. Because I sent him a text. I go, you realize you are on that list? He goes, oh, yeah, I was made aware of it. Rafael Luciano. Thank you, sir. I love the stickers. Very kind. Very kind. D Wolverines 305. This is hilarious, LOL, Big O. They want this man to be perfect and every throw precise and never make any mistakes. I bet some of you at your jobs are not perfect every day. Stop complaining. No, Steve M never makes a mistake. He's perfect at his job. He's the best ever. That's why he can look down on all of us, including Tua. He could do better. Muzi, thank you, sir. What was your grade on the Tyreek backflip? Oh, a 10. A 10 for number 10. What else am I going to give a man that dominates in the NFL, scores, and does a backflip? I'm going to give him a 10. Great leader on the team. Great vibe for the entire franchise. Fan base is electrified by Tyreek. He's fit in seamlessly. He's earning his money. You want to get paid? Well, Jonathan, Emmanuel Agba, where's the sacks? Cuz, yo, where you at? You want to get paid? Go ahead, Tyreek, brother. You're earning every penny you're making. I got no problem with Tyreek. Now, Emmanuel Agba. Come on, dog. Need you. No, but blame Josh Boyer. That's what you got to do. Because Josh Boyer is the one that motivated him to get the 18 sacks the last 2 years. So Josh Boyer now, he no longer walks in and hypnotizes Emmanuel Agba before games. So now he's left Emmanuel Agba on his own. So, Josh Boyer had the hypnotizing skills, not using it anymore. It's all his fault. Emmanuel Agba is not making enough sacks and plays, and it's Josh Boyer's fault. Or maybe he just busted his ass to get paid. Those are the moments where, if you're listening to the podcast, you needed the video. Anyway, it's just awesome. Dolphin 13, it's a beautiful feeling knowing that the offense is Dan Marino-ish. No matter how long the first down is, we feel confident that we can pick it up. Isn't that cool? Yo, youngins out there, this is exactly how we used to feel with Marino. That is, Dolphin 13, that's a great point. That now, are you nervous on 3rd and short? You're not, right? You're like 98% sure that Tua will throw the right pass and then he'll find the open guy and he'll weave it in between a couple. I mean, he threw things through multiple windows today that were just things of beauty, and I'm with you there. This is why I said what I said, that this reminds me a lot of the Marino era, because you just feel like that with this guy. That he's going to drop back and he's going to read quickly and he's going to find somebody quickly, just like Dan did. Dan didn't sit back there 4 or 5 seconds. Dan was snap, drop, boom, fire, and it was gone. And he found somebody. He knew exactly where he was going already pre-snap. Little rock. Bam. Poof. Little snap. Boom. Bang. Gun. Same thing. This is what we used to live with Marino. The confidence that, okay, he's not. You remember what I was saying for 2 years? While all the people were pointing fingers at Tua, and I kept saying, no, he's not the problem. It's everybody else around him. Remember what the story I used to tell? Tua must feel like shit. he leaves Alabama, where they have a better offensive staff, they have a better defensive staff, they have a better head coach, they have better facilities, they have better talent, and then he comes to this shithole where they had nothing, and they had a coach that hated his ass and wanted to scheme against him. And I'm saying he's not the problem. Everything else is. Sounded crazy. Now you see what I'm saying. He's not the problem. You feel good about it. Most Dolphin fans admit it. Right now, there's 1,600 people watching right now. Thank you on behalf of Sean Stanley and myself. God bless you. I appreciate you. Answer this question right now. Yes or no? 3rd and short. Are you confident or are you not confident into it? Yes or no? Yes or no on 3rd and short? Tell me right now. Put it in there. And by the way, Edward Costa says, can I get a shout out for my son, Jordan? We just watched our last Phinz game together. We are driving to Boston as we listen to drop him off as he leaves to the Air Force basic training. Huge fan in Massachusetts, right? I think that's where you mean, Ma? Oh, or I don't know if it's Miami, but hey, thank you, Jordan. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. And thank you for serving our country too. Fins up, baby. Fins up. Thank you for the love. You see? Yes. Hell yeah. Confident. Yes. That's what I'm telling you. That's what that kid does. That's what this has become. And that's the kind of feeling that we used to have ourselves. By the way, don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button, okay? We got over 1,500 people right now watching, ready to go. All right, Marcel Louis-Jacques is ready to go with our myedgedrink.com Miami Dolphins postgame report.
Time to get the edge on the Miami Dolphins with our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins report. When you want the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste, you can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com. Here's the ESPN Dolphin insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
All right. I'm actually told that the wind wasn't as bad as Tommy and Hialeah. Actually. All right, here he is, the man, the myth, the legend that is Marcel Louis-Jacques. How you feeling, bro? Did you have any Chicago deep dish pizza?
Oh, of course. Went and split a Giordano's deep dish last night. Had 3 slices and had to tap out, man. That thing was thick. It's like lasagna with crust on it. But it was good, though. I don't know, some people hate on it. Some people say, it's not pizza. It's not real pizza. I don't care what it is. It's good. So I'll take that.
Yeah, deep dish pizza is fantastic. I mean, whether you think it's the best or not, who gives a shit, dude? Whatever you're in the mood for, whatever kind of pizza, just enjoy it, man. So there's always this battle about what pizza's better. It's too subjective, man, when it comes to that kind of stuff. I mean, some people like pineapple and some people don't. I mean, it is what it is. All right, so your thoughts on the performance overall?
I gotta wonder, man. It was my biggest question coming away from the game is how sustainable is the shootout model? How sustainable is the shootout model? Because this is now the 3rd time this season where it's basically been our defense isn't going to stop anybody, so let's hope that 2 in the offense can score at will. And luckily for them, they have been able to score at will against the Ravens, against the Lions, against the Bears. But eventually, you have to feel like a team that's maybe a little better suited to play ball control with the lead, or a little better, more efficient on offense, a little better weapons outside, a playoff team isn't going to allow that to happen. It's game 1, obviously, with Bradley Chubb. I'm not going to sit here and say, that was a waste of a trade. He was supposed to get 8 sacks today and single-handedly stop Justin Fields. No, it's game 1. He played pretty well, led the team in pressures with 3. It's only going to get better from here. But Miami was not one pass rusher away from fixing the problem on defense. And I would even go as far as to say that wasn't their biggest problem before the Chubb trade. They just simply added a really good player to their team. The biggest problem was this banged up secondary, which, I don't know how you fix that other than adding somebody new. They're just dealing with a lot of injuries, but they're giving up the highest or one of the highest completion percentages in the NFL. It's one of the fastest time to throws in the NFL. That's not indicative of a bad pass rush. That's just an opponent saying, there's a weakness in the secondary. Let's get the ball to our receivers as quickly as possible, which is why their average yards per completion is pretty low. But that is something Miami's going to have to figure out moving forward, whether it's your guys playing more bump and run, more press coverage, or dropping somebody back into zone coverage. I don't know, man, but that's their biggest issue, not necessarily rushing the passer. But that's the bad, that's the negative, that's the pessimist. The optimist is, well, damn, man, here's another game where you asked Tua to go win you the game, and he goes and does it. This was the biggest thing I wanted to see personally from Tua entering the season is how does he respond when the team says, look, man, this is on you. And he's delivered now. This is the third, fourth, fifth, whatever the hell time that he's delivered with the game on his shoulders. I'm ready to say he's the guy. He's their guy. I still obviously want to see him tear up a good defense, like a good on paper defense, just so there are no excuses outside. You don't have to deal with it on social media. You don't have to say, oh, but it's the Bears. Oh, but it's the Lions. Oh, but it's the. I want to see him light somebody good up, just so I don't have to hear that shit either. But I think that he's done enough to say, like, this is your franchise quarterback, man. The questions are done. I don't want to have another conversation about it this offseason about whether or not Tua is the guy, isn't the guy. I'm on the Tua. I'm on the Tua wagon, man. I buckled my seatbelt, man. I'm not reaching for the door handle. I buckled in. I'm ready to go.
Of course, dude. I mean, please. That guy doesn't need to prove anything more that he's a freaking ass kicker. But here's the question, and because everybody wants to fire Josh Boyer, and on the 60-something yard run by Justin, you look at it. Several Dolphins were there. It wasn't a bad play call. It's just, dude, it's Justin Fields. And we have this thing where we have Dolphin fans that are like, they're insulted that a great athlete make them look silly. Yet Tyreek Hill does it to everybody every single week. And Lamar Jackson's going to do it, and Josh Allen's going to do it, and Devontae Adams is going to do it, and Derrick Henry, and there are some guys that are just a mismatch, and it's shit you got to deal with. And today, maybe it's a coming of age game for Justin Fields today. You know what I'm saying? Where this is kind of
knocking on the door.
But dude, it's to kill Boyer when they're playing with corners 5, 6, and 7, and 8, because Byron is your 2, Needham's your 3, and Trill is already moving in to be your 4, and so they're all gone. Now you're playing with 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 corners. You're playing with your backup strong safety that nobody, and you know this, nobody can replace Brandon Jones on that team. It's not even close. They're going to need 2 or 3 guys to do the things that Brandon Jones does, because he's a luxury at that position. So to me, to pick on Boyer, and there were times where, God bless Jalen Phillips, dude. He was killing himself, bro, and he's a great athlete. But the guy he was trying to chase was a better athlete.
He's a better athlete. And look, man, in my takeaway, and first of all,
tip your hat to him is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I see in the comments that Chicago, the fifth ranked passing offense in terms of yards allowed per game. They're also 18th in yards allowed per play. And they're a bad run defense, which means teams aren't having to pass the ball very much. And when they do, they're highly efficient doing it. So the numbers are a little misleading. But yeah, and it was in my takeaway that like Justin Fields' skill set, it means like this is more outlier than norm. Like they're not just gonna give up, 107 rushing yards to Jacoby Brissett next week. Davis Mills is not going to run for 95 yards. That's not it's not a problem. It's an issue that the 2 run first quarterbacks that they played in Lamar and Justin have both went bananas. But I mean, Fields more so than Lamar. I think Lamar had like that 79 80-yard run.
He had the one
that
run
that made the most of it. But that's not the issue. The missed tackles have been there all season.
All year.
Like that has been there all year. Yeah, they were there to make the plays, but you see they're bouncing off. I don't know if it's a matter of not breaking down, not wrapping up. I don't know how often you
Well, I
practice
mean,
tackling in mid-season, but
you see X go like try to think he's Steve Atwater and shit, and try to hit the tight end and see he can put him on his ass. And what is it, Connect or whatever? That guy has a weird name. Ran his ass over and went more, and that's X's fault. Where you got to wrap up there. Everybody knows you got to wrap up, hit low, wrap up. And who the hell do you think you are, dude? You're some linebacker, and that's just lazy football. But I can't blame Josh Boyer for that. I got to blame X for that. Guys are there to make the plays. Ogba's not getting sacks, dude. You got your sacks, you got your check. Go get more sacks. I can't blame Boyer for that. I got to blame you for that, dude.
And I think looking at the snap count today, we got kind of a taste of what this pass rush rotation is going to be. I'm going to ballpark it here because I don't have the numbers in front of me after I looked initially, but I think it was 57 snaps for Jalen Phillips, 52 snaps for Bradley Chubb, 25 for Ingram, somewhere around 15 to 20 for Emmanuel Ogba. Like they are relying on Phillips and Chubb, or they're going to rely on Phillips and Chubb to get this job done more so than the guy that they're paying, what is it, $60 million to over the course of the next 4 years. That's if efficiency doesn't.
Who they're paying $60 million?
Emmanuel Ogba.
No, man, it's a 2-year, $18 million. It's $9 million per year, isn't it?
Ogba?
Yeah. Ogba's not a big deal. It's like it's a 2-year deal, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm wrong.
The one that the one they signed right before free agency began in March.
I thought it was a 2-year deal. My bad, maybe. You see, I'll check it out. But go ahead, keep on with your point.
I was going to say comments. I'm about 90% sure I'm right here. I might have the exact number messed up, but I know it's
maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I imagined it differently, that he signed I don't remember it being that big, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I completely got that wrong. But go ahead.
Yeah, four for 65. Thank you, Carlos. That's what I thought. Like, no, it was a big deal. It was a big deal because 18 sacks for the past 2 years. He's been your number one pass rusher over the past couple seasons. I think leads all defensive linemen, or led all defensive linemen in disrupted dropbacks entering the season. Nobody was really batting that much of an eye. I think at the money. You're saying, okay, maybe do they pay a little bit? Do they overpay a little bit? Yeah, that's the nature of the league, man. Every deal you sign is not going to be perfectly fair market value for both sides. So I can't
blame Boyer for his lack of production. But I can't blame Boyer for his lack of production. That's my problem with that. To me, that's the lazy out overall.
And it did kind of feel like at the end of the game, the Bears' game plan was like the old Madden offenses, right? As I forget who it is. Somebody's been asking that down here, but they said, "Hey, receivers, go clear out, go run downfield, clear some space. Justin's going to run to one side of the field, and then he's going to take off." And there was no answer for it. There's only so much you can do when the guy under center runs a 4-3 or 4-4, whatever the hell his official time was. It's crazy fast. He's special, man. And he's been bubbling over the past few weeks. He was bound to have a massive game. And, sometimes it's going to be you. If you're the Dolphins, sometimes it's going to be you. But ultimately, they got stops when it mattered. Didn't love the run-heavy game plan on offense toward the very end of the game. I thought, your guys are getting open at will. I know you're trying to eat clock. Then run a damn 2-yard slant with Tyreek or Jalen. Run a quick hitch with Jalen, and let them try to do something after the catch. You're not getting that kind of push that you need there on the ground at the end of the game. I thought that almost blew it, but you can only criticize a win so much, right? At the end of the day, you're 6-3. Third place since I'm curious to see, I haven't checked in on Bill's Twitter, but I'm curious to see if losing to the Jets is still embarrassing. Is that still something to be ashamed of? Is that still something to make fun of other teams about?
I don't know, but that's embarrassing for the Bills. That's all I know. It's embarrassing for them.
One team had their starting quarterback, and the other did not. The other didn't even have their second string.
A shitty game, and so I don't know. I know that Tua would have beat both of them, but that's different. He already beat Josh Allen, and Josh had to come get consoled by Tua, and Tua told him, "Hey, you're my bitch from here on out." And the Jets got lucky that they played a bunch of backup, quarterbacks. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. By the way, I'm looking at the deal here. I'm looking at the deal. There's an out after 23. It's a $4 and $15 million base salaries over the first 2 years, another $4 million in signing bonuses, another 5.3. So it's kind of like a 2-year, like $28 million deal, $30 million
32,
deal.
32
and then
guaranteed.
after the second year, it's only $4 million of dead cap money to get out of it. So it's a 2-year deal. But yeah, it's a little bit more. It's about 32.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people are there's going to be some big money decisions made over the next, we'll call it off season or two. I would like Byron Jones. I think his dead cap hit, if he's released before June 1st, I think it's somewhere around $14 million, which is a lot. It's only $4 million if they can find a trade partner. That seems unlikely considering he's about to miss the entire season or damn near the entire season. We're more than halfway done with an Achilles injury. There's no recent tape on him, and he's expensive. I don't know who's, it seems like one of those trades that you're going to have to attach. You would have to attach a draft pick to get somebody to take it. And they're running out of draft picks.
They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. So, they'll take the cap hit. They're going to be able to clean out by cutting a whole bunch of people like Teddy Bridgewater and stuff like that. So they'll be able to. And Gesicki was probably gone, so they will have opportunities to open up cap space, along the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up this. What's going on with this Josh Allen injury? I don't know if you guys are messing with me.
Yeah, he banged up his arm probably. More important than your little Bills there is this right here. Okay, right here. That face after the Sanders miss came like that was like right the second he missed, the camera's focused in, and that is Mike McDaniel going, wait, Sanders missed that shit? And I got to tell you something, and now he said what, it was wind down the stretch. Some people say the wind wasn't that bad in the stadium, that it wasn't swirling that bad. I don't know. You were there. I don't know. You tell me.
From my angle, it looked worse outside the stadium, but it swirls when it comes in like that. So I can't speak to what it was like on the field mid-game. The flags on the goalposts weren't moving, that dramatically. But I am of the mindset that, man, at 29 yards, unless it's a 60-mile-an-hour winds, you got to be able to punch that thing through. It's
That dude's got ghosts in his head, bro. Something's going on with Jason Sanders,
which is weird because he was excellent. He was excellent all summer. I think he missed one kick all spring and summer. Again, you don't want to say the Y word, the YIPS word, but you just hope that it's not that. You hope that it's not.
I wanted to give him time, because there was already people that gave up on him before even the season started from how he played last year, and so now he's had enough time and he's had enough screw-ups already to be concerned into the second half of the season. Will Marcel Louis-Jacques, who is covering a team who is 1 week away from a bye week, a perfect time to work out kickers and possibly bring somebody in? Would that be an option?
You got one more week. We'll see what happens in the Cleveland game. What kind of situations he faces. But I don't know, because I don't think Mike is the kind of guy to throw Jason under the bus if that is the reason why he chose not to kick there on 4th and 1. The next-gen models did say going for it was the right move. So, there's that if you're a believer in those. But I think he's done enough he's earned at least another week.
I don't mind, dude. I don't mind him going for it. If anything, with McDaniel, I actually have more problems with his clock management at the end of the first half and some in the second half. Those timeouts early in the fourth quarter. There were some things that I could question with McDaniel on that. Going for it, I had no problem with it. I'm just saying, watching Sanders miss, it's just he looks to me like now a guy that I can no longer count on. If I'm the coaching staff, if I'm the team, he's a guy that I can't count on anymore at this point. He's almost got to earn my trust again.
I can't argue with that. Again, a 29-yard field goal it's something that, unless we're talking about apocalyptic, conditions, it's something I expect you to be able to punch through. And it didn't even really look like the wind took it. It looked like he just looked there left, or was it left, if I remember correctly?
Mhm.
Right? It's hard to tell, from I can never tell where the ball goes live, like from my seat in the box. It's so hard to see which, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of fans and colors in the background. I'm already colorblind. I usually just watch fan reactions and then I watch the replay. So I can't tell you exactly where it goes, but from what I remember on the replay, it never had a chance. So it's not something that you like to see, but he is somebody that I think the team still wants to trust. It's somebody who obviously he's been here for a while. That's going to give him a little bit longer of a leash than maybe a guy you just brought in off the street. But the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking if you don't start hitting.
Well, since McDaniel's been here, it looks like he's 4 for 4. He brought in Mostert, seamless transition. He brought in Craycraft, seamless transition. He brought in Sherfield, seamless transition. And it looks like Wilson Jr., seamless transition. He looked better and more comfortable in one game than Chase Daniels did in 8.
It's kind of what you expected out of him. What I loved wasn't just the physical running, which is something that I think the Dolphins have lacked more or less this year. He was so willing in pass protection. And, I thought that 30-yard run he broke off, watch the play before that. Watch him pick up the blitz to keep Tua clean before that. That's the kind of effort that is going to get you more play time. There's a reason he played more than 50% of snaps today. And it's that kind of effort, it's that kind of mentality, that kind of production that's going to get it to you. It was my favorite line of his press conference. Somebody asked him what your running style is. He said, downhill. I don't like to play too many games. And you saw that today. Maybe one cut and then shoulders down, legs are churning. And, sometimes that's what you need. You need a gritty yard. You need a 3, 4, 5, whatever yards up the gut to keep a drive alive. I wouldn't say he's going to, we've got a new starter. There's a new controversy at running back. I don't know about all that, but I think it's going to be it's a legitimate timeshare compared to what we've seen over the past 6 weeks, which is Raheem Mostert really taking control over the backfield over Chase Edmonds.
Well, what I think also is it's a better complement to Raheem Mostert, whereas Chase was almost the same kind of player that Mostert was. Well, Wilson's a little different. He brings a little bit more of that raw ability, that power ability, that power running that you talked about. Then not only they lacked this year, but they lacked it last year too, by the way. So I like it's more of a yang to the yin, in other words. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I like about it, that you've got a little bit of a mix there with those two guys.
Yeah, I like the tandem. You can tell there's chemistry there. You can tell there's a lot of trust from coaching staff down there. Again, I've been able to speak with Jeff Wilson a few times. Great locker room dude, like the kind of guy who feels like gets along with everybody, uplifts everybody, positive spirit, positive attitude. I think it's an underrated addition. That was an underrated addition at the trade deadline. Obviously, Chubb gets the attention, and it's not like people are ignoring the Wilson trade, but I think it deserves more love than it's already getting.
All right, 2 things before we go. Injuries. Any injuries that we should know about?
No updates from what I can tell. I think the idea, the plan here is to get Austin Jackson ready to play against the Browns next week. That's going to be a big shot in the arm for this team's offensive line. That's I thought looked pretty well. I thought they looked pretty good today. They kept Tua clean for the most part.
Whoa. Depth, right? You're not expecting him to start at all, right? Rochelle already won
Austin
that
Jackson.
job over. Jones owned left guard.
Where did Austin Jackson play last season?
Right tackle and left guard.
He did not play right tackle last season. Played left guard.
Yeah.
Where is there an opening on the starting lineup right now?
Did Robert Jones do a bad job today? Are you sure he did a bad job today?
I think if you go with your best 5, I think Austin Jackson is in your best 5.
high ankle sprain, I think you do not play him for a couple weeks. You practice him, you get him in game. Maybe you get him in there a couple reps slowly, and then you put him in there. I don't think you thrust him into the starting lineup, especially when you haven't allowed a sack in 2 weeks. I don't know, my brother. I disagree with you on that one. All right. So next question.
I think they got out of today pretty healthy, though.
Somebody is 6-0 when he starts and he finishes games. I don't know who that is on this team, but somebody's 6-0 when they start and they close. They got sorry-ass Cleveland. They'll take care of Jabroni Brissett. They'll take care of sorry-ass Houston. But San Fran, Chargers, Buffalo, and Packers, that is where Tua Tagovailoa either becomes a talk amongst the MVPs if he has a stretch where he wins 3 of those 4 games. Agree or disagree?
You're saying this is where he earns MVP talk?
He's right. Not earns the MVP, but he is put in the MVP race and like in the middle of the race. If he wins San Fran, Chargers, Buffalo, and Green Bay, I mean, the Chargers aren't really that much of a challenge, but I'll throw them in there just to kind of appease all those Herbert lovers out there. But, out of those 4 games, if Tua Tagovailoa performs well and wins 3 of those 4 games, is he in the MVP conversation? Marcel Louis-Jacques of ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, if he wins those 3 games and he puts up numbers like he is currently, then yeah, I think he's in the conversation now. Like it's hard to discount. It's hard to discount him now. I'm not saying he's a leader. I think Jalen Hurts is pretty clearly the MVP frontrunner right now, especially after the game Josh Allen just had, and I don't know what his injury situation is going to be like. But yeah, and I don't think those games are. It's a hard stretch. Don't get me wrong, because you're on the road 3 weeks in a row, and that Bills game might even get flexed. So you're looking at cross country back-to-back games, and then Buffalo in the cold on a short week. It's going to be hard, but I don't think it's like.
Wait a minute, hold on.
I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's impossible to. I don't think it's impossible to get out of that stretch 3-0. Like it's not as hard on paper as it looked before the season.
I got it now. The Marcel Louis-Jacques drinking game. Every time he mentions the Bills or Buffalo, you all take a shot. And you all
just mentioned the Bills. What the fuck are you talking about? You just mentioned the Bills. You just mentioned a 3-game stretch, including one against the Bills. You just mentioned a 3-game stretch.
You mentioned them like 8 times in the response.
You're talking about MVP race. Who is the MVP frontrunner entering this week?
Tua, of course. But, I'll just let you guys talk about everybody else if you want. Some guy named Josh Allen with a weak wing. I don't know. This guy lost to the Jets. Come on.
I don't know. And I think, I can't – it's really hard to win MVP when you're not a quarterback. It's also really hard to win it when you're a wide receiver, because you think, okay, if a wide receiver is winning MVP, what are his quarterback numbers? You know what I mean? And, they're obviously going to be in that conversation too, but – Tyreek's got to be talked about, man. Tyreek's, I think, offensive player of the year. He should probably be a lock at this point. But I don't know if I'm going to discount. I don't know if I'm going to completely disregard putting Tyreek in the MVP conversation, man. That dude is he's on pace for 2,000 and legit on pace for 2,000. To the point, I don't want to hear people call it a pipe dream anymore. We're 9 games into the season.
But does he have to get 2016 to make it look good? Like going to week 17 with 2005 and say, see, screw you all. I don't need that extra game. Just so you know, I got $2,000 before 17, so don't use that asterisk on my ass. Now let me go out and get 2,200.
Yeah, I think obviously it would be nice to shut down the historians there, but then you got to look at yards per game. You got to go for efficiency. Look at the efficiency and say, okay, what would he have done? What would so-and-so do in 17 games, and how does it compare to what Tyke was able to do in 17? So, but I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not ready to discount him in that race, and I'm definitely thinking he's probably a lock for offensive player of the year. There
you go. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. You can find out everything going on with the Dolphins and the Bills with Marcel Louis-Jacques. Marcel, much love. We'll see you later.
Yes, sir. Peace.
All right. There you go. Don't forget, folks, myedgedrink.com, the finest energy drink on the planet. I'm telling you, man, delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. Only 78 calories. It's a joke. Can't get in a store. You got to go to myedgedrink.com. Here's the challenge. If you're a vodka guy like I am, mix it with vodka. And all I'm going to tell you is you're welcome. That's all. You're welcome. Okay? You're not even going to taste. When I do it with my Grey Goose, I don't even taste the vodka. It is so delicious. And like all these sports drinks, they have an aftertaste. Edge has zero aftertaste and only 78 calories. myedgedrink.com. Use our code Big O. Get 10% off. Code Big O. myedgedrink.com.
You now have the edge on the Miami Dolphins with the Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins Report featuring ESPN's Marcel Louis-Jacques. Get the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste. You can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com.
Love it, as always. Appreciate all of you out there. Thank you all for supporting the show, as you always do. And we thank Marcel Louis-Jacques for making life nice and easy for us out there live at Soldier Field. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Really not any earth-shattering stuff came out of the Dolphins game, which I think is actually, they just need some breaks. And I got to tell you, I'm really happy that there aren't any injuries, like serious injuries overall. It looks like they got out of this game pretty clean. I think that's incredibly important. If they could get some breaks, that would be a beautiful thing. I would love that. I think this team, if they can get some breaks where they're not constantly replacing this guard and that safety and this corner and that corner and this corner and that corner, and it just becomes a pain in the ass. And it does, at least the guys that you have now, if they can play on a consistent basis, build some continuity, I think that would be really, really important for the team. I think that would help out a lot. Now you got Bradley Chubb. He'll get in the mix more. Jeff Wilson just looks like he belongs right away. That was a seamless fit if I've ever seen one in my life. That guy was, and great job by Mike McDaniel. Every guy that he brings over just connects with what they're doing. I love it, man. All they need now is just a little luck. If they can get a little bit of luck, then sky's the limit for this team. I mean, they're, again, like I told you earlier, for the complainers, you're 6-3 and your quarterback missed 3 games. You're 6-3 and your second cornerback has not played all year long. You're 6-3 and one of your starting linemen, he's missed most of the year, played 1 game. Your other left tackle has missed a game. You've had so many injuries, so many things to have to overcome in 1.5 season, and you find yourself 6-3? I get it. Is McDaniel the perfect, time management guy right now? No, he's not perfect. Is the defense perfect right now? No, I know they're not perfect. Is the offense perfect? No, they don't have a running game that is consistently imposing. Their passing game is, but not their running game. So it's not perfect. Special teams, hit or miss. Today, you missed a field goal, but we got to remember the block punt. Okay? Van Ginkel, my boy, strolls in for the touchdown. Jalen Phillips, right? Wasn't it Jalen Phillips that got the block, I want to say? First, starter playing special teams. Remember that. Don't forget it. Because don't be convenient and then start complaining about one of your stars playing special teams and they get injured. Jimmy Johnson said something once. I didn't agree with a lot of things he did sometimes with the Dolphins, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But one of the things that he always used to say when he was playing Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas on special teams was, I play my best players on special teams. I take special teams as serious as I take offense and defense. It's a phase you've got to win, and I completely agree with him on that. And if Jalen Phillips can make a difference, and again, kudos to Jalen Phillips, man. I wish you would just watch the tape and watch that man on every freaking play. His effort was awesome. Awesome. The stats did not reflect the effort. And the effort to chase that man down, Justin Fields, was near impossible. God bless him, bro. He busted his ass for you guys out there, for his team, for his coaching staff. Love what I saw from Jalen Phillips today, man. That motor will bring him an MVP one day. He is a freak of all freaks when it comes to that athleticism. Love what I see from that guy. Just give him time. It's only his second year. Jason Taylor did not become Jason Taylor until kind of the back end of 3, but really into 4. Like 3 is where he really started to shine. And then 4, he exploded. And so remember, he's in his second year. And I'm going to tell you, he's JT. I'm just telling you, the best is yet to come from Jalen Phillips. Really love what I saw from him. Eric Echevarria says, I knew there was an edge and vodka in that shot glass. Damn right. Yeah, man. I'll get the edge. Anthony Petrunt, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, difference in game with special teams play. So encouraging considering our special teams unit has been anything but special. Also, O-line was great today. Yeah, they gave Tua time, man. No sacks. It was great. And you look over the stats today on the game, and we can go over the first of all, let's go over the individual stats for those of you that don't know what happened today. Tua Tagovailoa was absolutely outstanding. 21 of 30, 302 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. They really couldn't get it going on the ground. Jeff Wilson Jr. was your leading rusher, 9 for 51. Mostert, 9 for 26 and a touchdown. I really liked Mostert today, and it just did not materialize. He got the touchdown for you, but he didn't really help out like I thought he would in fantasy. Tyreek Hill, another monster game, 7 for 143 and a touchdown. Waddle was waddling in the end zone, 5 for 85 overall. And Jeff Wilson Jr., 3 for 21 and a touchdown. So Jeff Wilson Jr. on his first game had 72 yards from scrimmage overall. All right. Landon Roberts was your leading tackler with 9, 5 of them solo. Kader Kohu had 8 tackles today. All right. Eric Rowe had 7, 6 solo. And Baker had 7, 5 solo. And Zach Sealer had 6, 5 solo. All right. 2 sacks on the day. Melvin Ingram and Duke Riley ended up picking up sacks. The Chicago defensive line did not pick up a sack today whatsoever. Justin Fields was fantastic today. He put on a show, 17 of 28, only 123 yards, but he threw for 3 touchdowns, and he rushed another 15 times for 178 yards and a touchdown. The kid accounted for 4 touchdowns in that game and a 2-point conversion also that he threw. Hell of a performance, man. Really. Sometimes you just gotta tip your hat to the young man. Sometimes other people are just better. Chicago had more first downs than Miami, 23-21, but Miami had more first downs, 15-7 to Chicago. Third down efficiency. Miami was 5 of 10. Chicago was 10 of 16. They had a lot of long drives, a lot of plays they had to convert, and they just dominated on the ground. Miami sucked on 4th down. They were 0 of 2. Chicago was 1 of 2. Total plays, Chicago had 70 to Miami's 53. And then total yards, 379 to 368. Miami had the edge in that one. Passing yards, 302 to 116 in favor of Miami. Yards per play, 7.2 for Miami, 5.3 for the Chicago Bears. Rushing, Bears had 252 yards rushing. They're the number one rushing team in the NFL. Miami only had a paltry, measly, pathetic 77 yards on the ground, unfortunately. Penalties, Miami was clean. 3 for 38. Chicago, 4 for 92 overall. That big pass interference to Tyreek Hill downfield. No turnovers for each side of the football. Absolutely amazing. Special teams. They had one touchdown, which Chicago did not. So those are some of the stats in the game. And again, folks, just want to remind you, you can go look around the NFL. Miami won. They beat Chicago 6-3. And I just want to run some of the scores for you around the NFL. The Packers lost to the Lions 15-9. The Packers lost to the Lions 15-9. You want to complain about beating the Bears? You know, the Lions, a team that they shut out in the second half and took care of business second half and won. Well, the Packers couldn't beat them. Okay? Just want to throw that out there. The Jets beat the Bills 20-17. Okay? The Jags beat the Raiders 27-20. The Jags picked up their third win of the season. They're 3-6. The Raiders are 2-6. But Mark Davis and company, they're dead set on continuing their path with Josh McDaniels because he is just an absolute monster. Okay? Don't complain about barely beating the Bears or just getting by or you're lucky or this and that. It's about winning the goddamn game. And they won and they're 6-3. And that's it. And that's all that matters. Tom Brady right now at halftime is trailing the Rams 7-6. Tom Brady's 3-5. He loses this game. He drops to 3-6, dude. And these idiot owners wanted him. A guy that's going to play one more year after being divorced. Okay? Don't complain. Enjoy the hell out of this. This is super cool. Wink the Cosmic Grandma says, many of us fans since we were kids and never felt this excitement knowing that they could win it all. It's overwhelming. If we had a dynasty run like the Patriots, I can't imagine the impact that would have on my life. Yeah, that would be fun. I just want to get to one championship. You know, before I check out in this world, I'm not getting crazy and greedy and worried about, you know, winning 3 or 4 championships and having the run that the Patriots, had. I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about just getting to one. I'd like to see the fan base enjoy one. That's all. I don't think it's a lot to ask. You know what I'm saying? I think it's something that would be absolutely fantastic for this fan base and something that you all deserve. Because to me, that's the most important part, that you all deserve a championship. This has been a great fan base that has hung in there with this team for a long, long, long time, man. Did I miss any other super chats there? No? Okay. Samuel Rosa says, Big O, what happened to Josh Allen's elbow at the end of the game? He was holding it around his, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea, my friend. I have not checked up on it because I'm doing this. So I'm really not. I don't know. I don't know if Sean, can you see if there's anything on Josh Allen out there? What's
there's been nothing. It was a strip sack that he hit his elbow with the helmet. Kind of hit him in the elbow, the UCL area. So I'm still waiting. I'm looking up everything to see what's said. He just said he's got a slight pain in his elbow in his press conference.
All right. He's a tough son of a bitch. So and listen, they don't play Buffalo for several weeks, so don't even worry about that. You know, this life is good. You get to go tomorrow to work and thump your chest. Your team is 6-3. Your team won, man. It's all that matters. Style points don't matter anything. You want style? Tua plays with plenty of style. Tyreek plays with plenty of style. Waddle plays with style. There you go. You want style? Hang your hat on that. That's what I would do if I'm you. Eddie Leff says, Allen looked bad today. I was watching the game side by side. He scored 2 TDs running, but his passing was horrendous. Well, I'm not going to feel sorry for him, Eddie. I know you're not going to feel sorry for him because I know you're a hardcore South Florida sports fan. But, you know, it is what it is. Knight says Tua's first Dolphin in history with 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in consecutive games. Samuel Rosa says, he's okay. Thank you, guys. Big O and Sean appreciate it. We won. That's what matters. That's right. Lofi Anime NFT says, defense looked like patties on a pinball table, standing still swinging at air. Yeah, that's what that kid will do to you. And you just got to give him credit. That's it. All right, folks, it is time to wrap it up here on the EJDconstruction.com Dolphins Postgame Show. On behalf of Sean Stanley, the man that masters this entire platform, and, of course, the man, the myth, the legend that is Marcel Louis-Jacques, we thank him. Obviously, we thank all of you. Please visit our amazing sponsors. You guys are fantastic. Thank you. Support our sponsors. It's the reason why our platform is going to grow. Support our platform here by hitting the like button. There's 1,400 of you right now, and there is how many likes right now? 521. Come on, man. Get us over 1,000. Do it for the Dolphins, and do it for Dolphin fans all over the world, because that will trigger it and get the show to more people and more Dolphin fans around the world. So please, come on, man. Let's get it to 1,000. We got 1,300 now. I know you guys are signing off. As you sign off, please hit that like button and hit the notification bell. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to talk about these amazing Dolphins. So thank you all out there. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Get us over 1,000. We love you.
This has been the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Postgame Show on the Sports Talk 305 Network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Show. From home to kitchen to bathroom additions and remodelings. Get in contact with one of the best contractors in the business. Call Eric at EJDconstruction.com. 305-433-4843. Please subscribe to our platform by searching Big O Radio Show on all digital avenues. On behalf of all our staff, we thank you for supporting us. Have a fantastic week.